First of all, I would like to thank you, Mayor Corbett, and the Board of Trustees for allowing us to come to speak with you tonight. Our students, mostly juniors, have been through our districts for the last 12 years, having begun in Downing, which is the elementary school, our K-2 elementary school, which is on Linder Place. So one of the things we've charged them with after they finished their AP exams was to do some research on who Linder was and to present their research in various forms. And I'm not going to take the time because they've done some rich work and they're going to share that with you. So I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Mack, who will then introduce the students. But thank you again for accommodating us.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Karina, and I'm a junior at Malverne High School, and some of the history that me and my friends uncovered includes that Paul Linder was a real estate developer, and he made many investments and contributions to the development of Malverne. However, he was unfortunately a high-ranked member of the KKK on Long Island. During the 1920s, there was an estimated 20,000 members in the Long Island KKK, and he was one of the most prominent members. He was known as the Great Titan of the New York Ku Klux Klan, and he led many riots and gatherings of the Klan, such as the March in Freeport in 1924, where 6,000 Klansmen attended. In Malverne, there were two 15-foot cross burnings that were held, one being at the Malverne train station and the other being at the Linder Farm, which is now known as Crossroads Farm. During this time, the KKK would burn crosses and intimidate African Americans and other people of color.
Good evening. My name is Olivia Brown, and I'm an 8th grader at Howard T. Herber. America has a questionable past, and so as a village in America, by default, Malverne will have a questionable past as well. The important thing, though, is that we grow from it. Recently, the Malverne School District community has started to become more aware of Paul Linder's association with the Ku Klux Klan and all the pain and fear that he has caused during his lifetime. If Malvernites knew District 12 students as the school community knows them, there would be less hesitation to change the name. Paul Linder was cooperative with the Ku Klux Klan, a group of people known to commit hate crimes against minorities, particularly the Black community. The Malverne School District is predominantly a minority, and 50% of the students are Black. In general, a street name named after a Klan member is offensive, not to mention that this street is one on which Black students walk down every single day to get to school.
Hello, my name is Joffrey, and I'm a junior at Malverne High School. And while researching my project, I came up with the thesis that public iconography speaks volumes about the character, identity, and priorities of an area. There is historical background to support this thesis. For example, street names were emblematic of the changing governments in Berlin, Germany. For example, from a Nazi regime to both a split Western and Soviet regime. This was also shown in other cities like Bucharest, Romania, during and after communist rule, and even with more unexpected places like Nairobi, Kenya, during and after British colonialization. This all shows that street names, among other things, are very reflective of their respective governments and their society's social values.
Hi, I'm Anika, and I'm a junior at Malverne High School.
I'm Bijou, and I'm also a junior at Malverne High School. We can't show it, obviously, but we made a diorama in which we displayed how the legacy of white supremacy and the KKK will continue to haunt and linger over the schools so long as Linder Place keeps its name. I could only hope that there isn't more facts that I need to say that my peers haven't already, but it doesn't only hold as a street name, but as a symbol that perpetuates ideas that blatantly act to harm the already undermined Black community of Malverne.
I also wrote a poem personally talking about my feelings on the subject. In my poem, which is entitled The Issue, I compare systemic racism to a repulsive, oozing, monstrous mass. By describing this social injustice as something horrific and off-putting, the emotions felt by people of color are able to be felt by any reader, regardless of whether or not they've actually experienced these injustices. By having the protagonist of the poem devoured by a monster, I was able to portray the feelings of frustration and fear often associated with being trapped into a social construct that you're unable to break out of. The pile of money that's excreted at the end of the poem by this monstrous form is supposed to show how this system is still in place because it's profitable, because somebody benefits from it, despite how awful and clearly aversive it is.